is up, folks? Welcome back to Wing T Big North Football YouTube channel. Today we're going to be getting into my top 10 list of free agents that the Detroit Lions should go after. Before we get into it, I just want to ask everybody who watches to please subscribe to the channel. If you don't know how, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below. Just watch that. It will guide you right through it. It takes maybe 3 minutes to set up an account so that you can subscribe, you can comment, you can like, you can share, all that stuff. And I'm just asking for a little support here. I'm not asking anybody to go into their wallets to donate. I don't do YouTube for money. But if you could subscribe, if you would subscribe, I would appreciate it. It would show me that people actually care about what I'm doing. So, anyways, let's get into it. Here we go. We're going to start off with number 10. Rashad Perryman, wide receiver. Now, I think Rashad Perryman would be a instant upgrade because he's a young man who has bounced around, but he is a prototypical slot guy. He's not the 6'4", the huge guys that are on the outside like we already have with Galladay and Jones. And I just think that he would add another dimension, even if he's the 4th or 5th receiver, to our passing game. Next up, number 9, Devin McCourty, safety. Now he's older. He's I think 32, I believe. A lot of experience, all in New England. So he obviously knows Patricia's system. And if they're going to move off Tavon Wilson, I don't see a better replacement than Devin McCourty, because, I mean, you got Clinton Dix is out there. You got some alright safeties out there, but for his age and, like I said, his experience in this system, I think that as long as New England doesn't want him back, we shouldn't have a problem bringing him into the fold. Now, whether or not he wants to play for us is a different story. But we'll see. I mean, it's just a top 10 list of guys I'd like to see in Detroit. So up next, we're going to number 8. Number 8, and Arik Armstead. Arik Armstead, he is a defensive end who can probably play defensive tackle. He's a huge man. He's coming off his best season as a professional, but that does alarm me a little bit because a lot of the guys on this list and really in free agency, especially the top ones, are usually coming off their best season because they know that they're going to be, free agents. So, I don't know. I mean, Arik Armstead, that's why I have him so low at number 8, because it's like, A, I think he's going to want a lot of money, and B, I'm just not sure that the production that he showed last year will be transferable to down the road. Up next, we have number 7, Schobert, inside linebacker. The guy's a tackling machine. I wouldn't say that he's particularly good in coverage. I wouldn't say that he is, he's really good at making tackles. But aside from that, that's why I have him at 7, is because he's not like, he's not a playmaker at inside linebacker like some of the past tackling dudes that we've seen, the Urlachers, the Ray Lewis's. He's not that, but he is a solid tackler, real good tackler, and that's what our defense needs, is some guys who can tackle. So, yeah, he's on the list, like I said, toward the latter part because of that. Because his lack of coverage ability, his lack of playmaking ability aside from tackling. Next up, number 6, Kenyan Drake, running back. I've liked this guy ever since he entered the league. As a member of the Dolphins, look, he was on, terrible Dolphins teams with bad offensive lines. And he still managed to show that, he is a pretty darn good running back. He can catch, but mainly he can run. And he's got a second gear. And he's not afraid of contact. He's, he's definitely my number 1 running back that I would take over all the running backs out there, even over Gordon and guys like that. I just think that he has a lot more to give in his NFL career. He's a young man, hasn't played a ton of games, so that, that works well. And the next guy up is number 5, Dante Fowler Jr. He's an outside linebacker. Can also play the jack linebacker position, which is essentially another defensive end. I've liked him also since he first got drafted. He had a lot of issues when he first came into the league, health issues, mainly concerning his knees and stuff, but the last couple seasons he has shown that that he can play, you know, at least 12 games, 10 to 12 games, and when he does play, he makes an impact. He is getting sacks, he is getting hurries, he is hitting the quarterback, he is just a disruptor. And if we can get him for the right price, man, I would love to see him on this team. And get Kennard out of that jack linebacker position that he is frankly bad at. Next up, number 4. Chris Jones. Sorry about that. I've seen some sites list him as a D end, but he's more of a defensive tackle, really. I think that if we could get him and add him next to Trey Flowers, man, that would be tremendous, because Jones has a great ability to get to the quarterback and also to play the run as well. Very gifted, talented young man who I think will, be a great player wherever he ends up, and I hope it's in Detroit. Next on my list, number 3, James Bradbury, cornerback. Now, this guy, I love. I love his size. I love his game. He's not a huge interception guy, but I tell you what, his coverage ability, the dog in him, the fight, oh man, you don't get much better. Now, there are some highly overpriced cornerbacks in this market, and I just think James Bradbury is a perfect fit, especially if we are going to trade Darius Slay. And if Okudah's there, it all depends on, it really don't matter if Okudah's there or not. I mean, we're going to do what we're going to do when it comes to draft time, but just because we take if we sign James Bradbury as a free agent, drafting Okudah is totally still in the picture. Just depending on how the draft board falls. So yeah, with that said, James Bradbury is my number 3 top priority free agent that I would like the Lions to go after. The next one up, number 2, Cory Littleton. He is inside linebacker like Joe Schobert. Unlike Joe Schobert, he is a playmaking inside linebacker. He doesn't put up the gaudy amount of tackles as Schobert, but he makes up for it with his all-around play. Interceptions, forced fumbles, you name it. This dude is rock solid as an inside linebacker, and would easily replace Jared Davis as our starter. So yeah, I would love to see Cory Littleton rather in a Detroit Lions uniform and playing for us next season. Now,
number 1.
The last, who's actually the first guy on my list, is Jack Conklin, right tackle. And it's pretty simple. He's the best right tackle available in the free agency market, in my opinion. He's young. He's got a lot of solid years ahead of him. And look, it's gonna be pricey to get him. But with the release of Rick Wagner, we saved some money. And I'm hoping that the release of Rick Wagner was an anticipation to go after Jack Conklin in the free agency period. I just think he would be, because he's a road grader, he's a great run blocker, he's he's a good, solid pass blocker. Actually, he's very good. I think he only allowed like 3 sacks in his worst season. Something like that. I was reading on PFF. But anyhow, yeah, those are my top 10 free agents that the Lions should go after. I want to hear from you. Who are your free agents that you would like to see the Lions bring in and sign? And do not forget to hit the subscribe and to comment in the YouTube comment section. Make yourself a YouTube profile so you can do all this stuff. Like I said, the link's going to be in the description box below this video, so check that out. I want to say thank you to all my fellow Lions fans, near and far. You guys are the best, and until next time, peace.